All right, second day of ASAE 22 in Nashville, and I am back to find out more about socialoffset.com. So here I am, Beth Surmont, Erin Fuller. I need to find out, for those people who haven't heard the deal about what socialoffset.com is, just tell me briefly, what is socialoffset.com?
Yeah, so the idea behind socialoffset.com is it allows you to balance the purchases you make with your values, your personal values. And so if you are in a destination that maybe doesn't align with your political values or your personal values, you can calculate something to offset the money that you're spending there and donate that directly to a local charity to make impact in that state where you happen to be.
And so, for instance, we're in Tennessee for ASAE, and we know that between the state of Tennessee and Nashville, there's a 9.25% tax rate, and then actually there's an additional 5% occupancy tax. And so we kind of did some rough calculations, and for every cocktail here, whether it's sponsored or you buy it yourself, about $1.50 goes to state tax, and then about $40 a night for every hotel night you are. So just having people really think about, if we're going to go ahead and support the state government here, who's about to enact some really restrictive legislation, how can we try to offset that and potentially channel some additional funds to go to support women's reproductive health care?
See, and that helped me so much, because when I saw that was figured out for me, I applied that, and I knew what I needed to donate. I came with questions yesterday that were more about, well, what is socialoffset.com and what is the future? I want to ask you different questions today, okay? So the question that I have is, for organizations or individuals who want to get involved, how can they adopt or adapt this concept?
That's a great question. And so, as you're aware, and people are aware of this, we are doing a test launch here at ASAE. This is the minimum viable product. I view the world through the lens of events. I am all about making events and association events in particular successful. And so the ultimate goal for this is to create a simple site where individuals or event organizers or associations can actually create their own page for their event. So imagine, www.socialoffset.com/your event name. And so whatever destination you happen to be going to, you'll create this opportunity, and on the back end, we make it really easy to connect with those local charities.
Excellent. And so how can people measure? What are organizations doing to measure this effectiveness, the success? What are individuals doing?
Sure, I think that it's a spectrum, right? In terms of, I was using the example earlier, we're now all well trained that when we finish drinking water out of a plastic bottle, we look for a recycling bin nearby. And I think the same thing is when you're going to a state, being aware of what the state's policies and practices are that may or may not align with your values. That awareness is kind of, I think, the beginning of that journey. Hopefully we'll then see a grassroots effort similar to what constructed socialoffset.com to encourage organizations to invest in having some type of presence like this, or organizations in their leadership, their board leadership and staff will go ahead and realize that there really is a need to do this to make their attendees feel like their voices are heard, and that it's still a welcoming environment, regardless of contracts that could have been signed 5 years ago, right? Or 3 years, 2 years, 6 months ago, right? So we're in kind of a different environment right now, and I think that all of that impact, we hope to be able to measure it. It's still new, but it's exciting to feel like we can take action and make sure that we have created something that helps a lot of us feel more comfortable to be able to celebrate our community here in Nashville.
Go ahead.
I was just going to add one more thing to measuring success, because I think for me the success has been the number of emails I've gotten where people have told me this touched their heart, and they were in a tough spot where they just really didn't know what to do.
Right.
Or the number of people have stopped me in the hallway to say, thank you, this is something that they're really interested in. It feels like it's something that the community is hungry for and that there's a need for. And so, just hearing that, I think is a great measure of success for us.
Right.
Well, thanks for taking the time. I know you both personally, and I know you're busy here on site. So thanks for taking the time, and thank you for everything that you're doing to get the word out, to make this happen, to put this whole initiative together. I'm going to come back tomorrow to try to touch base with everyone to find out, what are you hearing? What kind of progress has been made? What is the future based off of what you've learned here? And so thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Kiki.